Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th, The Sky in Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and Sonny's Pizzeria. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Welcome, Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment lovers. Today's guests certainly have a love of their individual crafts. Later in the hour, actor Josh Allen talks about his start in theater. And in just a few minutes, comedian Nathan Hults gives us the details about this weekend's Sno Jam Comedy Festival. As you can tell, a bit of a raspy voice. Thankfully, those interviews were done before the raspy voice came along. So please, bear with me through the parts that I have to speak in a less than ideal way. Plus, we'll tell you who gets this week's honorable mention, as well as draw for another winner of Pizza with a Podcaster. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
Lift them up high, whatever type of container you have for a beverage, and whatever that beverage may be. Salute it to compliments. It's nice when we receive them, isn't it? You know what else is great? When you give one. You give a compliment. Receiving compliments. Those are great things, but learning how to accept one is an even bigger thing. Some people have a tough time with it. Some people will give you that, oh no, not me, and things along that line. But if you receive a compliment, if it feels awkward to you, then just do me this favor and just say, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay? Not that tough to say, is it? It makes the person that gave the compliment feel better too. It is time to pick a lucky winner of the Pizza with a Podcaster. Everyone that follows the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook or Instagram automatically entered to win a free pizza from Sonny's Pizzeria. We draw a winner each week, and this week we say congratulations to Rollin Wingert. We'll be in touch with you, Rollin, to get you all set up for some jowl-dropping, show-stopping thin crust pizza. Pizza with a Podcaster is brought to you by Sonny's Pizzeria, right across from USF at 26th and Waltz, and Sonny's at 81 on South Phillips. Check out the very fun and incredibly flavorful menu online, sonnyspizzeria.com. Honorable mention. What made Dave smile, laugh, giggle, guffaw, etc. over the past week? It made me smile. It's that ability to keep learning something new. I'm 60 years old, and I have been in love with audio and video gear and production and creativity, mostly that being in audio. But last week I was in a video shoot for a training video. Fascinated by the way that training video comes together in terms of the filming portion. So honorable mention goes out to always being able to learn something new. Later in the hour, we speak with actor Josh Allen, but coming up next, comedian Nathan Hults joins us to talk about this weekend's Sno Jam Comedy Festival on the Dave Holly Hour.
Sure, they have darts, and you've heard me talk about how ruggedly handsome the trivia host is, but all caps fun never stops at the Sky Lounge and Tea. And fun is best had with your friends enjoying live entertainment, as in live and local. Yeah, the Sky Lounge believes in giving you the best bands, solo artists, and comedians from the area. The Neo Johnsons, Elizabeth Hunstead, Skylar Volks, as well as many others. And a great staff will make sure you enjoy your fun at the Sky Lounge in Tea, South Dakota.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Support the Dave Holly Hour in a very easy way. Buy Dave a cup of coffee by clicking the cup in the lower left corner of www.davehollyhour.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, you know what I love to say. Yes, it is a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. And the pleasure is the fact that you get some great people that are on the show for the first time. Then you get people that are veterans of this program. And you get people that are involved in a number of things. And that's what we have in today's guest. Nate Hults, you are here not just as Nate Hults, the comedian, but as a member of Sno Jam's board of directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to have you. And that, this comes out on Thursday. So
First day of Sno Jam.
Yeah.
This is incredible. We're finally doing it. It's been a year. This is our 8th year doing Sno Jam Comedy Festival.
That's awesome.
It's incredible. It's gone by so slow. I'm kidding.
Hang on. Yes, there we go. First one in for the day already. He's on top of it. Yeah, except you're not every 9 seconds yet.
No, it's incredible doing 8 years of this thing that started out as a joke. 9 years ago, we thought it would be funny to bring comedians to the best place on the earth during the worst time.
Yes.
Yeah. So we always thought it was funny. Like, let's bring comedians here in the dead of winter when no one would come and see if we could, trick these people into coming. And we did.
And surprisingly, they did.
And we've been doing it for 8 years. It's absolutely incredible.
How has it changed in the 8 years?
We've added some. We're learning it. Right. We're, I think every outing is a learning experience. This year, we're trying to take what we've learned over the years and taking the feedback from the comedians and from the audiences and growing and trying to make this festival the best one yet. We have 2 headliners, amazing headliners. When we started, we didn't do any headliners. We just, had a bunch of comedians. And we're not doing theme shows this year. We're just going to be doing just straight stand-up comedy shows. We have the headliners are incredible. She's Jackie Cation.
Yeah.
She has the podcast The Dork Forest, as well as a brilliant stand-up comedian. So she's going to be on Saturday, and we're going to record an episode of Dork Forest live. And
Fantastic.
Yeah, very cool. And then she'll be doing stand-up that night. And so that's really great. And then Miss Shannon or Shannon Paul, been Nick at Mom's, Nick at Night kind of TV programming, as well as the voice of hip hop in the Twin Cities. She is one spectacular woman, and we're very excited to have her at the festival this year.
And she'll be performing when?
She'll be performing Friday.
Friday night.
Friday night. Yep.
Where will a lot of events take place?
Oh, that's a great question. So Thursday night's going to be at Remedy, but it's going to be at the Remedy
the new place, right?
611. Yeah, it's over on the north side of town, kind of over by the arena, right by the birdcage.
Yeah.
And it used to be that Rise place, the indoor go-kart place.
Oh, there we go.
They didn't last long, but
no.
But Remedy's really taking over that place, making it a cool spot.
Yeah,
so
and Remedy's good people.
Yeah, they're so helpful.
Yeah.
So
I remember last year, they used that back room that was associated with their downtown location.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We're going to try to turn this room into something special as well. Right now it's a big warehouse, so we're hoping to help make that good.
When you say that, is there a hint toward the future of we're going to make this room something special? Not just for Sno Jam, but maybe
maybe they're going to do something.
Okay.
Well, I can't speak to their plans, because they're not my plans. We're excited.
Are they your dreams, though?
We're very excited to continue working with Remedy in the future. Yes, is the diplomatic way we're saying that. And then Friday night's going to be at one of my new favorite venues in town, Spellbound Magic Theater.
Yes. Travis Nye.
Travis Nye's Spellbound is incredible. So that's what we're going to see Friday night. That's one of the things we learned too, is we're going to have all of the shows in one location each night. So instead of trying to drive across town in this terrible weather and, getting through these streets that are all potholed up,
not only potholed up, but they're all one lane now.
Exactly.
There used to be a turning lane here. Where did that go?
Yeah, when did we get a divider? And then Saturday's going to be at Bosses and Tea. So that one's going to end real well with Jackie Cation. We've got a lot of great stand-up showcases. Once again, if you're not familiar with Sno Jam, what we do is we bring 30 comics from all over the country to the greatest place on earth during the worst time. And we throw some comedy shows in to raise money for great organizations that affect the Sioux Falls community.
All right, and so those organizations this year, then
we're donating this year to two different organizations that do great stuff for the Sioux Falls community. We're doing the Transformation Project, and then the Compass Center. And both of those guys do a lot of outreach and community help for their respective areas. So we're very, very excited to have them on board this year and try a new thing where we're splitting up the money towards two organizations.
All right. So you mentioned that it's 30 comedians. You've got two headliners. So how many people are we going to see as openers and feature acts and so forth prior to a headliner? And then where else will we see all the others then?
That is a great question. So there's going to be a bunch of showcases, right? So those are going to be sprinkled through the whole day, right? So Thursday, Friday, you're going to see two showcases, 3 showcases, 4. The schedule's not right in front of me. It's a lot of shows. There's a lot of entertainment. It's 30 comics crammed into 3 days. So it's going to be a lot. But and then for the headliners, there will just be a traditional show where it's like 3 or 4 people before. So
for the evening.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any type of workshop and so forth this year? Anything like that going on?
Yes, I believe we're going to have an improv workshop. Don't quote me on that. We're still figuring out, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And then also Dan's EPK.
Which I've attended twice now.
Yeah. Well, I pick up something every time I hear it.
Isn't that the truth about some sort of education? I was just telling somebody this the other day that, there was in college, my sophomore year, I had a particular general studies science class I had to take. I knew I was going to not do well. I didn't know at that point you could take either pass fail instead of having to have a grade. Sure. I wish I'd known that. Instead, it's the only D I ever got in college.
Yeah.
But I still remember one little statistic from it.
Okay.
He said 7% of all diseases are nosocomial diseases that you pick up while in the hospital.
Yeah.
That stupid-ass little fact is stuck with me now 35 years.
Locked in that brain, in that brilliant brain of yours.
So, yes, you may sit there and go, oh, my God, but there's probably something you will get out of it.
There's also something about reinforcement. I just recently took a class about the business stuff, and it was reinforcement of stuff that I am doing that is working, but also ideas to make those things work better, right? So once you have the concept, sometimes it's nice to hear it again just to reinforce those things and internalize that behavior. So even if you have taken that class already, I think it's still worth it.
Right. Yeah, very much so. Because in just like rereading a book, rewatching a movie,
you can,
something along that time.
You can glean some new insights.
You'll get something. How's it been going for you? I mean, you have been out and about a lot.
I've been working. I've been out doing a lot of private events and on the road quite a bit lately. I got a new Prius, so I've got to try to make.
Does it have all-wheel drive?
It does not have all-wheel drive.
Neither does our Kia.
Yeah, but you know what? I get 50 miles per gallon.
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely great. Everything's good. My daughter's 4 years old, which is
Yeah.
crazy, and my wife is hanging out with a 4-year-old a lot.
She's still at the pavilion?
Yes, she's still at the pavilion. Yeah,
Great,
which is
great spot down there.
is a wonderful. And they keep doing. Did you go to that new arts night?
Yes, I did.
That new arts night where they had like locals take over the gallery.
I don't want to say 605 because that's another event, but it was. I know exactly the one you're talking
And
about.
I can't remember the name, but it was so cool.
Yeah, it was.
It was so
In fact,
cool.
It was a couple $100 worth of cool.
Yeah. you got by pretty good then. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some great stuff there, no doubt. And
my daughter found a stuffed bear that was knitted, and it was a Grateful Dead dancing bear. And so she's like, I want that. And I was like, this is the only thing I can't say no to. Right. It's like something that I also want. Yeah, I got a couple stickers and stuff like that. So it was.
Well, talking about, local, investing in your local community and so forth, this is a great opportunity this weekend to do so, not just investing, but also giving back, since it is, a couple of different organizations that will benefit from it, but also to see the local talent.
Yeah.
There's at least a dozen comedians in town now, aren't there?
I'd say there's 25, 30.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. So 6 or 7 locals will be on Sno Jam, which is a testament to their talent. Right. We've got a great talent pool here in Sioux Falls that really connect with audiences, not just here, but all across the country. And so, working comedians, people that are funny, people that get it, people that, might not be your cup of tea, but still are awesome, and we're very lucky to have such a great talent pool. But that because you do a thing highlighting the arts in this area, so you understand there's talented people here.
I think that I counted the other day, and in the 162 episodes, I've had 237 different guests, and total guest appearances is 390 something.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, and what is so great about it is nobody's the same.
No.
Everybody's an individual, no matter what art or entertainment they happen to be involved in.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about when you go to a Sno Jam Comedy Festival is 30 different comedians. You're going to get 30 different comedians, not 15 of so-and-so.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, is like everyone, if you don't like the guy that's on stage or the gal that's on stage, just wait 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking about the headliners.
Right.
But, that's on you.
And then at the end of their show, sorry, nobody else.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. And if you want to check out the schedule, the easiest way is to go to snojamcomedyfest.com. If you go to the website, they have ticket links to each individual show, or you can buy a festival pass, which will get you into all of the events. Right. And that's the best value. If you can't make it, we totally understand. There's also, if you come to the show, want to donate, we definitely take donations to help these great organizations.
All right. So you've got 5 locals. You've got 30 overall, which includes 2 headliners. How many submissions were there for it, though?
Just under 300.
Wow. So all across the nation, people want to come to Sioux Falls in this lovely time of the year.
Yeah.
That is such a testament. Okay, so we talked earlier about how's it changed from year 1 to now.
Yeah.
Year 1, when you were thinking this was going to be a joke, how many submissions?
We had like 150, 170.
So you've doubled, basically.
We've almost doubled. Yeah. It's really incredible. And with the feedback we're getting from comedians, it's one of their favorite festivals to come. It's not a competition. That's why there's no W in Sno.
Right.
Because no one gets the W. So it's not a competition. It's just fun. It's like a camp. It's like it's all for a good cause. It's a party. Come out and party with us.
And if you've never taken a class in comedy, this is a great way to get a teaching in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've obviously you're going to have. You did mention that there's going to be an improv workshop and so forth.
Yeah,
which I would love since I've done a lot of improv in the past. But even if you're just sitting there and observing, and you're taking in somebody's timing, how they build a bit, how they have callbacks in their routine and so forth.
Absolutely.
That's all beneficial if that's something that you want to be. And I think one of the other great things about the comedic community that we have here is the fact that everybody wants to help you.
Oh yeah, it's such a nurturing community.
Yeah. This is not a, you want to get into comedy, huh? Oh, there's another one that we got. It's a, great. Hey, you know, anything you need, let me know.
Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful, thing that we built, over the last couple decades.
Yeah, true.
I've been doing this for 12, 13 years, and it's just really, it's grown. We've lost people, we've gained people. It's always changing, and we love that about it. We're constantly growing and learning and building, and and I think Sno Jam's been a very welcoming part of that. It showcases the best of Sioux Falls, right? It showcases the best of our area. Previously we had given our money to the Special Olympics, which is such a great organization. And I think the Transformation Project and the Compass Center are doing such amazing things for our community, for people that need help, that we, I think gives them a chance to showcase what they're doing.
All right. Love it. And so looking forward to everything. Let's talk more about you. Because I always enjoy that.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
Hey, and I wanted to say thank you so much, Dave, for being such a great supporter of A, Sno Jam, but B, just everything going on in Sioux Falls and this area. Like, you truly you put your money where your mouth is, and I truly thank you for that.
Thank you.
You stay involved. You do everything you possibly can. You glorify the arts in this area. You show, like, we're at Sonny's Pizzeria right now. You're showing great local pizza places and stuff like that. What you do is absolutely incredible, and I can't thank you enough.
Oh, well, I certainly appreciate it. And it's out of the joy of my heart, though.
And thank you so much for sponsoring the festival
this
year.
You're quite welcome. Well, see, that the podcast itself doesn't make me much money.
No.
Although I am getting a nice little boost this year that will come out in about a week or two. We'll talk about it. But for the most part, I always joke and say that the podcast makes me $12 a week, which is enough to have a place to host it.
Yeah.
And as well to have a website.
Yeah.
But where it's paid off for me is everything else I've been able to be involved in. And this is, we're into the fourth now. It's been 3 years. And at first, nothing. Then over the past couple of years, everything else that I do started to build up a little better. Yeah. And it was like, what my goal isn't to make X amount of money, but it's to have enough to have season tickets to Premier Playhouse, Mighty Corson Arts Players, Old Town Dinner Theater, Good Night Theater, have enough left over to sponsor things like this. And also I'm going to sponsor SuperCon coming up in October.
That's great.
And so it's just, it's been good. And then I immediately want to give it right back, and do things for people. And so that's, I certainly appreciate that.
I mean it, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Well, thank you, man.
Thank you.
And thank you for being such a great, comedian. And I love the way you work. And I know that, it's such an interesting thing now because comedy is going to include vulgarity.
Sure.
Yes, we know that. And that's taken for granted.
Yeah.
When it comes to going to a bar, going to a place where it's a setting for comedy, that's going to happen. But so many of you are taking the steps to do clean shows because you know that there's money out there in that corporate stuff.
Yeah. I don't work clean exclusively, but I do.
Right, but you can. You have that ability.
I do like to, and even my dirtiest is not that filthy.
True. In fact, I told that to somebody the other day. I said the great thing about Nate is, even his regular show, it's not, that was the fifth F-bomb in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I have been there. And I did used to do that, but it didn't really connect with me as a human. I'm a little bit more vanilla as a human being, and so
with red hair too.
When I'm showing up with Rocky Road, it's definitely not the right. This isn't what I ordered. So no, I appreciate that. We last show, I let a couple F-bombs go and stuff like that. I wasn't really proud of how I did, but I also got heckled. And so when you throw me off, I'm gonna revert back to the potty mouth, get you back on my side. So
What's your favorite comeback to a heckler?
can you please not be funnier than me?
I like it.
Yeah, I believe I learned this not so long ago. It was a couple years ago. I'm very good at insulting. I like it. Like I'm very good. Like we did the roast together. I love
That's
doing.
right. That
I love
was
doing
awesome.
Roast. I like being brutal. I like being silly.
I believe the line about me was the fact that we wondered what time I had to be back to Shady Rest, something
Shady
like that.
Grove. Yeah. Shady trees. I like jabbing at people, but I found that if I give someone a strange compliment, right, which is more fun, I think, I get the same reaction, and I still have everyone on my side, right?
Yeah.
So like, if I'm more likely to compliment you in a strange and uncomfortable way than tear you down, right? And I think that's just a philosophy in life I'm trying to live, is like I'd rather build someone up than tear them down, and so it's kind of a my hippy dippy philosophy.
Makes a person take a step back and go, oh, okay,
Yeah, I mean, I was at Brookings, and there was this guy in the front row, and he did something that caught my attention. I don't remember what it was, but then I could have just started making fun of him, but I was like, dude, how many times do you hit the gym? Like, because those thighs are incredible, right? Those are thighs built for marble. So like it was uncomfortable, but it was funny, and I'm not tearing this guy down, but it was I think it's so far my theory is working.
Okay, I'd like to hear that. In the meantime, you're going to be performing this weekend as part of Sno Jam?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm lucky enough to be hosting Shannon Paul, Miss Shannon, and I've got to work with her. It was 2 Valentine's days ago at Running Aces Casino, and she is just a bonfire. Like she is a forest fire, because it just catches and keeps going. I don't know if that's the best example, but she is incredible. So I'm very excited to be on that show.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably host a showcase.
Is there any open mic in this one?
We couldn't figure out a time for an open mic this year. But the unofficial kickoff is always the Boss's open mic on Wednesday. So if you check out the Boss's open mic on Wednesday,
true.
I bet there'd be some new faces and some familiar ones as well. So,
well, looking forward to it again. Today is officially the first day of the 3-day festival, and you're going to have some things at Remedy, at the new Remedy, that is, their new building.
611.
611. And also out at Travis Nye's place.
Yep, and then Bosses and Tea.
Yeah.
So the old Tea Steakhouse, for those who
are
the old heads, which is a great venue too. And Bosses have been all of our sponsors are great in our venue, but Bosses has been around since the beginning, so we do appreciate that.
If I recall, your venture into comedy started in college. Didn't you use your advanced class, or it was a whole semester? Independent study.
Yeah, I did an independent study on stand-up comedy. All my friends from improv were moving, and I had a couple years of college left because I wasn't a good student, and so they were all leaving. I was like, I got to figure out how to be funny on my own, and so I always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do stand-up or entertain in some way, and so I figured I got to find something I can do by myself. And so I studied stand-up. So it was a very fun semester of me learning how to do it. So, and then my first time I performed in front of 320 people. I did 20 minutes, which is way too long.
No kidding.
Yeah. First time, 20 minutes in front of 320 people, opening for an improv act that I was also in. It went well. I was on the pray for people list at church the next morning. If that gives any indication of what kind of comedian I used to be, right?
Right.
My mom went to that show. It was at 11 o'clock at night, and my mom went to that show, and people asked her how it was, and the line she said is, and this is in my bio. It'd be funnier if it was someone else's kid.
I didn't teach him to say that. Let's see. The standard 2 questions at the end, which you are a pro at now.
Yep.
So, when not part of the entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
I just went skiing.
Oh.
I'm very sore. I'm very sore.
Out at the bump?
At the Great Bear.
Great Bear, yeah.
Yeah, I went skiing. It was so much fun. So that's what I do. I love that. I'm also a huge record fanatic. So
still playing the vinyl.
Yeah, audiophile. So just doing that and hanging out with my kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a hobby? Have anything to do with foot apparel?
I have a addiction.
That would be an understatement.
I have an addiction to footwear, primarily sneakers. I have a significant amount of shoes that I like to wear.
Give me a ballpark figure on this one.
Well, see, it's not truly fair. I just unloaded a bunch. So I'm probably up to 18, 19 pairs of shoes.
That's not that bad.
No.
No. Okay, then I won't say anything about handbag type, over the shoulder slings, stuff to carry stuff in. Nothing along that line.
I also have a lot of storage. I need storage for my storage.
Yeah, I live in 660 square foot with another human being.
Yeah.
So things are micromanaged when it comes to storage.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
You can't just add stuff.
No. And we can't just add on because we rent.
It's a discussion. It's a discussion of what. Yeah.
However, we do have a snowblower coming.
Ooh.
After what we've already had, and even if we never use it again, what a great insurance policy it was then.
Yeah. I bought this and I never had to use it. It's the wonderful thing I've heard about a snowblower.
Yep. And so we're crossing our fingers and everything else so we can.
Yeah. I think Florida should get snow for a while. We should get warm.
Actually, I think they had a freeze warning last night.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Take it.
Yeah. Write it down. Remember that year in 2023 when it froze?
Yeah. Exactly. Let's bring it. Let's switch hemispheres for a little while.
Yeah, all right. Hey, good luck with the Sno Jam.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you there.
Of course you will, and everything beyond Sno Jam because I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
I love your comedy
I love you,
your style. Love you as well, Nathan Hults. And it's great to have good people in this community entertaining people.
Likewise.
All right, and we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation. 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
The Dave Holly Hour, like eavesdropping on a great conversation between two very interesting people.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? I should just have it I should say it once, put it on a recording, and then just hit it. And say, it's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. And I love it when I get a first-time guest. And here's a young man that I've been wanting to have on the show for quite some time. I say that a lot, too. But, everybody is so talented in this town, and you go to something and you see somebody new, and you go, oh, I got to get them on the show. And then some people say, hey, I got to get back on the show because I've got this coming up, and so forth. So it's taken a while. But we find him at a really good spot right now, The Source, downtown, where I just had to, for the first time, drink a hot beverage out of a straw. I had dental work done this morning, a little more extensive than I thought. At least I can speak right now. So, Josh, how are ya?
I am doing fantastic, Dave.
I
Thank you for
love it
asking.
when people say fantastic, and I love being around people like you that have great attitudes about everything, and you're upbeat. And you've certainly got a lot to be upbeat about. You are one incredibly talented young actor.
Thank you.
May I ask age?
Yeah, 31.
31, okay.
Most people peg me as younger.
Well, true. I was.
Yeah.
I was picking you about 25.
Sure.
And I suppose you get responses like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's great to see you and have you on the show because you are talented.
Thank you.
I have seen you do some incredibly deep stuff. What do you think has been the biggest role that you've had that was, if you wanted to really dig into a character, what was that?
Yeah. In the journey, just within getting involved in the Sioux Empire here, each opportunity was very different, which is really nice to go into a new project and feel like you're not recycling the same type of thing.
Right.
So I really appreciate that. I would say on many levels in Cabaret, that was very deep and difficult in many regards because I took what I was being asked to do quite seriously.
Yeah.
We did a lot of research as a cast on the history of what it all would mean and didn't mean, and I really tried to bring a lot of humanism to something that's so marginalized normally. Not that it makes it any less bad, but to help make people understand that for people that don't know. I was a Nazi in Cabaret, but they're people, right? And so making people be shocked by the fact that that's who that character was important to me because regular people ended up following a terrible thing for reasons that a lot of us, if they're put in a similar situation, might fall under it, not realizing what it all becomes.
Well, and that just sets you off right away that the audience is going to go, and second of all, a great many of them might also go, oh, no, and they'll be just anti-you the whole time, not taking in what your performance is all about, but as they're following the storyline, they're going, oh, he's a Nazi, and it's not going to be a happy thing. So, but did people by the end of the show come out afterward and say congratulations on a wonderful job, because that was a knockout performance?
Thank you. It very mixed, right? There were some
Really?
people, well, there
Okay.
were some people that were like, I wanted to say something, I just couldn't bring myself to want to talk about it. And I'm like, that's very fair.
I was going to say, well, that's also probably a compliment in its own way that you played the part that well.
I would like to think so, yeah. And that was the thing was, especially at the end of the show, it didn't hit the exact same every time, but there were some times where I really needed a hug. Because the mentality that I tried to put myself in was such a foreign one to me, such a negative one, that it was just a lot is all I can say about it. And it did seem like it read pretty well, and that made me happy. I will say the run length was about as much as I could possibly do of that.
Yeah.
I would not want to do it any longer, nor do I want to do something that asks that of me in a while.
You're not going to play that on Broadway, then?
Absolutely not. I mean, if someone called, I would at least think about it. Let's be real.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it would be a hard question.
Well, you know what I always get a great joy out of is seeing how this theater community has grown, and the quality that we have now. Because your performance was a knockout, Tristan Chasing Hawks was a knockout, and I think back to the first time where it really hit me was when we had gone to see Tristan in Blood Brothers.
Right.
And I mean, at the end of that thing, the audience is silent because they're sobbing.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. And to see young people such as yourself and how you advance the acting ability in this community is just it's a joy to see. And we keep getting better and better. And the other thing is, people don't realize how much talent we have in this town and how widespread it is. All right, so we talked about the tough character then.
Right.
What's been the most fun?
Right. I'm not going to say a ton on it, but I am extremely excited for Reefer Madness.
Coming up with Good Night Theater Collective.
Yes, it's going to be a weird show. It's going to be wonderful energy. I think the music's phenomenal. And I hope that people are really just able to enjoy it. It's been probably my favorite one to work with at this point.
Well, I think people, they hear the title, Reefer Madness, and for people that are unfamiliar with it, they're automatically going, oh, this is, current and so forth. It's not.
Nope.
Yeah. This goes back to a malt shop long, long ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to it in that regard. And that's the other thing is that, we do touch on subjects now that 20 years ago, for sure, we didn't.
Right.
10 years ago, we might have or hinted toward it. But now it's coming up, and you're able to have fun with it, too.
Yes.
Okay, so your character is?
I am the lecturer.
Okay.
Yes. So I am helping guide everyone through the story. And I have a very poignant message that I am trying to send to the audience. This is, of course, a satire show, right? So the things we are saying, the show is quite ridiculous, and that's the point. So everyone can agree to some capacity, whether it's because you're laughing at it or you think that we're right about what we're saying. So it's really fun in that regard.
What got you started in acting?
Yeah. Oh, wow. So that was, I guess it was back in middle school. I tried every sport I could, and boy, was I terrible at all of them. But I wanted to just find something that fit and worked for me, and I got involved in middle school, and I did everything available to me at Lenox from that point through high school. Did a little bit in college, took a break, and then came back here. So it's just been something that I just tried, fell in love with, and it's just been something that I've resonated with for most of my life.
So what made you fall in love with it?
Okay. I would say, if you asked me back then and now, very different answers. Right now, the number one piece is 100% community. Making new friends, finding people that are choosing to share themselves outside of their 40-hour work week to create something that's outside of themselves. It's just wonderful because it brings a certain type of person that you want to hang around and meet and become closer friends with. And that's why I love the rehearsal process, is you're getting to meet a set of some older, some newer faces, and you get to grow and be a bit vulnerable with them and explore a space together. And that's probably my biggest enjoyment and what I truly love about it.
All right, so back then, what was it?
Yeah. Say that again?
So back then, what was it?
Back then, it was 100% attention-based. It's wanting people to look at me, recognize me, tell me I'm good at what I do, all of that. And that's like, there might be still a little bit of course, everyone loves being complimented, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't enjoy that. But I would say that's definitely secondary now. It's more like you get that as well. But if I didn't have that, I would still be doing this because I just enjoy the process.
Yeah. Well, and you're good about accepting that as well.
I try to be. I'm getting better.
Because a lot of people, they'll brush off a compliment. It's like, no, somebody believed in you enough to tell you that, to not only praise you for what you just did, but hopefully continue to boost you to continue doing what you do.
Right. And for some people, that's a really hard thing to do. And that's why I try to, because I'm someone that does struggle with approaching people. So if I felt moved enough to do that for someone else, it wouldn't feel quite as good if they were to just brush it off. And so I do try to take it in that regard. It's like, well, thank you so much for potentially going out of your comfort zone to tell me what you thought. So that definitely inspires me to try to be more accepting of those things, because it's, depending on the day, it's not as easy to believe it. We all have our good days and bad days.
Yeah. What's been the best compliment you've received about your acting?
Ooh, that's really interesting. I don't want to go into specific details, right? Because because others are involved. But
Right.
I was told in one of the shows that I was in within the last year here that I just completely stole the show, despite it not being like the biggest piece of the show.
Right.
And it's that concept of no small roles, small
Exactly.
actors, and to be told that everything I was doing seemed to be the right choices. Just that's what you want.
And
That's what you want to hear.
if we're on the same track here, I know your reference, and yes.
Fair enough. It's very possible.
So we'll go with that.
All right.
What do you hope to accomplish in your career as an actor?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question too. So there are a few role type things that I would love to hopefully work up to. I've never been like the romantic other. I think that would be very fun because I think I can do a good job of bringing those more intimate moments if asked
Right.
to. So I'd say role-wise, that would be really awesome to experience. Otherwise, I just want to keep building the skills I don't necessarily have as well developed. I'd say dancing's the number one.
Okay.
So I am all about, if someone's like, we want you on ensemble, I'm like, you're going to have to be patient. I
Yeah.
will get there. And so that's something where I want to become a better dancer. I feel like that's definitely my weakest piece. But through a desire to not look too silly, I will get there.
Yeah. So you push yourself then.
Yes, absolutely. And I just enjoy learning new skills. It's fun to get to that point when things start to feel more natural, when before, you had two left feet entirely.
Yeah. How are you at rehearsing lines and learning your lines?
Yeah, that's an interesting question too, because I actually recently had some discoveries. As some people will find out, in Reefer Madness, I have a little bit of the heavier bits as a narrator-esque role. I'm so thankful for my experience with Lombardi, giving me a lot of exposure to that preemptively, because this time around it was a lot easier. And I think it was because of that more recent exposure. I'm one of those people who, even going into those first read-throughs, if they can give me the script a handful of days early, I want to read it like once a day. I want that familiarity because I want to be able to focus on the things that I won't be as strong in. And I don't like the idea of memorization being that weak point.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good overall about
Good.
my ability to get there.
Yeah. So that the interaction then with your fellow castmates is much more believable that way, and it certainly was in Lombardi. I wanted to bring that up too, especially when you mentioned that you didn't do sports well.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you were in a sports. Well, it wasn't a sports play. That was a human play.
Right.
And I feel sorry for the people that didn't go because, oh, it's a sports thing. Nah, you missed an incredible thing. You and Chris Andrews just,
What a wonderful
was-
guy to work with.
yeah, and what a cast.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were all amazing. I still talk to all the Lombardi cast these days. It was a very nice, close-knit family
Yeah.
that came from that, and a wonderful experience for sure.
Yeah.
And I really thank Jesse for giving me that opportunity in that role. He was a phenomenal director as well.
It's funny, you mentioned the friendship earlier, and now you use the word family, and that comes up so often when I'm talking to actors and actresses. So that each show that you're in, that family continues to grow.
Yes.
In fact, we haven't been in a show together, but everything I've been to and seen you in and so forth, we've become friends in the meantime, and I consider you part of this whole family of community entertainers and artists and so forth. In fact, there is a picture of us from last year's Sioux Falls Stage Awards.
Okay.
That was taken in the lobby prior as everybody's just milling around having a few drinks and so forth. And there's one of the two of us having drinks. And so that will be the promo picture for you this time
wonderful.
around in
I like
the
it.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, here's somebody that as little as 3 years ago, I didn't know.
Right.
And here we are today sitting down like we've been doing it for a long time.
Absolutely. And that's one of the other pieces of this whole thing is I spent about 3, 4, 5 years after college not really doing much with my time, a lot of nothing. And that's all kind of a blur. But this last 2 years, it's like life has slowed down so dramatically. because of all of the involvement, all the things I'm doing. So if people want to know, like, well, how do you feel like you are really using your time and like making your life feel longer and more fulfilled, it's like just be doing things, find things to be passionate about, learn things to be passionate about, and you're gonna be like, wow, that was only a year ago, rather than saying, oh, that was 5 years ago, I thought it was yesterday. And it's been wonderful to be more involved and just feel like you have more of that sense of fulfillment.
Yeah. All right. So Reefer Madness is coming up just a few weeks.
Yes.
Is it even that far away now?
It's January 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Okay. Yeah. And we've got our season tickets.
Perfect.
We always do. And beyond that, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so Goodnight has me down for one more show.
Okay.
There'll be God of Carnage will be happening after Reefer Madness.
Right, saw
and
that.
then an animated cabaret comes after that, and I will be in that cabaret.
Awesome.
Yes, so very excited about that one too. We've got some of the details for what that process is going to start looking like. That one should be more choreography heavy too, so I'm getting my wish for working on the skill.
Yeah.
Yep. But I very much, interestingly enough, before Blood Brothers, I had never been in a musical before.
Really?
Yes, because my high school, our drama director and vocal director, they weren't exactly close. Didn't really want to work together. And then in college, I kind of flipped more to the tech side before getting involved in musicals. I still did music in other ways. But so Blood Brothers was the first. And so that's something that I've also wanted to lean on is I want to do more musical-based theater because that's something I have less experience in versus straight shows. And so I'm really getting that filled, and I really appreciate it. And it's also been something that's helped me feel more confident in myself too.
Yeah, that's incredible and awesome at the same time. So once you have accomplished things, do you check it off like a bucket list or anything, or you just go, okay, we did that now, but we got to do this next?
Yeah, so like I said, there's maybe just one or two things that there's a box. Other than that, I just kind of, it's what's interesting, what's different, what's new. And that's kind of how I function. I don't do a ton of planning per se, unless I'm getting poked and then say, can you do this far later? And then I'm not that good at saying no. So usually I'll say, yes, I'll go audition for whatever you might be asking me to do, assuming time-wise it works. But otherwise it's just, I don't like overanalyzing too much. I like just taking opportunities as they come.
What about directing?
That's a great question. I actually had intended to audition to direct with Corson's winter show.
Okay.
But then we got the results with Goodnight and Reefer Madness, and giving a decent amount of responsibility in that show.
Really full calendar then.
Yeah, and I'm bless Clinton for the guy who's willing to overlap things, and I'm like, my brain could not do more than one show at the same time,
Right.
and I'm not going to try to ask myself to do that. So I did make that executive decision just based on timing that I'd give a back seat to that. It's definitely an interest though, directing, because that would be an avenue where I think I could either excel in it, or I drive people nuts, or maybe a little bit of both.
Or you might excel at it because you do drive people nuts. Yeah, that might just be your style.
Yeah, who knows?
But I guess the reason I wanted to ask that was the fact that most people will start off either acting or tech, but you've been acting.
Yep.
You did tech in college a lot,
Yes.
and so you've got both sides of that.
Right.
And that usually leads to that third element then of doing some directing.
It'll definitely be based on probably opportunities, putting myself out there, seeing if I can find something where it's like this would make sense to at least put my hat in the ring and hope and have those conversations, and hopefully built the relationships where people feel they could trust giving me that opportunity. So that's definitely something I am keeping in mind 100%, but nothing like particularly planned at this time.
Are you one of those that likes the fact that we've got a great scene now going on for arts, and so you'll stay here, or do you have aspirations of moving to a larger city to perform?
Great question. I will say if I decide to go with life outside of Sioux Falls, it would have nothing to do with the acting side of things, and more
Really?
so just generally exploring different lifestyles. Because I don't even know if I would choose to continue acting should I do that. I might, but when I think about that, it's not the acting side of things. But I will say, when it comes to Sioux Falls as an actor and entertainer, I am very content because there is more going on than anyone could ever imagine.
No doubt.
I will say, if I was to give any critique, it's we need to figure out a way to make these things a little bit more to everyone's ear and eye so that we can get the turnouts that we could. Because I think most of it is I hear people just saying, I didn't know that was happening.
Right.
And I am not the guy to solve this, unfortunately. but I know that there's so much out there. And as someone who likes to get exposed to new things, I know there's a lot of art galleries happening. There's dance and things like that as well. And I want to be more exposed to a lot of this as well. And I know Sioux Falls offers all of it.
It does in a big way.
Yes.
And hopefully we continue to get the word out because I agree with you. And you're not the first one to bring that up.
Sure.
That there needs to be more of a collective. Let's get it out there so everybody knows about it. You mentioned Clinton just a little bit ago, and you had also talked about singing. Well, you did karaoke at Clinton's birthday.
Yes, I did.
Yes, and I thought you did damn fine.
Thank you.
So don't tell me well, we all probably want to advance as best we can in our singing. Mm-hmm. That's why at the age of 58, 2 summers ago, I took voice lessons.
Okay.
Never too old. I've known I can speak all right, but I wanted to be just a little bit better at karaoke,
Hey, that's I love that mentality because we should always be learning and growing and finding new skills.
Exactly, and it's funny because I bring this up from time to time that there's still something. I got a D in a science class in college before I knew that you could take it pass fail. So it hurt the GPA a little bit,
right?
But I still remember one statistic out of that entire class, and that was 35 years ago. And so it's like, there's things you can learn, even if you feel like you're not learning or you're disgusted with the process and so forth. Mm-hmm. So if something sticks in the brain, it was worth it.
Right.
No doubt about that.
Absolutely.
See, and for me, the one thing that doesn't stick in the brains are scripts. But I am in a play coming up.
Right.
Because I get to read mine because it's the introduction for A Night at the Theater.
There we go. Yeah. Fantastic. Congratulations on the casting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Typecast, of course.
Well, I mean,
1940s,
the best of us.
radio personality.
Oh, there we go. I mean, we couldn't pick a better person for it, though.
True.
All right. And I was going to say, to what you mentioned about karaoke,
yes,
a little fun into my background, singing used to be the one thing that I could not shake my nerves for. Through everything I did in high school, I performed okay with the different choir things I did, but if there's ever a solo or anything along those lines, my voice was so shaky, I was so nervous, I couldn't get over it. Fast forward to college, I was in an a cappella group, and I still was plagued with this unresting nerve that would affect my singing pretty drastically. And it was in the later years of that and through just putting myself out there in karaoke, I was able to eventually get over it. And now I can, just like with acting and saying spoken lines, you're able to get darn near everything I have on a dime without me fretting like that. And so honestly, for anyone that struggles with that, the best thing you can do for yourself is just put yourself out there again and again. Yeah. And eventually you're going to get more comfortable and you'll get over that and you'll impress yourself.
Was that the same attitude you had when you started in middle school acting?
See, if being honest, that just came a little more naturally. I don't know why, but stage fright has never been too much of a plague for me. And yeah, I couldn't tell you the whys that singing did, but acting didn't. But for the most part, you could put me in any role, and boy, were there some ridiculous ones. And Reefer Madness will be no exception to that. You'll see some weird stuff. But none of that really bothers me. I'm always pretty excited for it. Yeah, singing was the only thing that ever really hit my nerves really hard.
All right. What about being on a podcast?
I didn't know. I'm feeling pretty good though.
Oh,
Feels
good.
pretty natural.
Well, it's a conversation.
Exactly.
It's just like sitting down. I had a cup of coffee through a straw.
Right? There you go.
All right, the final two questions that always come about. Sometimes the answer to question number one means we don't have to ask the second one, but when you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Okay. So, I guess there's going to be kind of two pieces to that. So we're saying outside of being a watcher and performer of the arts?
Yeah, so if you're not performing,
Yep.
what do you like to go, because it's in the arts and entertainment world?
Okay. So like I said, if I ever have someone that says, do you want to go watch this thing? The answer will be yes, even if I know I might not like it, just because I've been surprised plenty of times. So I'm very much a yes man when it comes to a new experience. I love supporting my friends that are in shows too. I love volunteering and Worthing is always a fantastic time. So I try to get as much of that as I possibly can. Otherwise, in my more personal side, I'm a big anime junkie, and I also spend a lot of time in the gym.
Okay, yeah. Any other hobbies then?
Let's see. I also really like board games quite a bit.
What's the go-to?
Ooh.
One choice out of your closet of board games, because you got friends coming over.
Right. If I've got the required number, I love a hit and roll game. There's a game called The Resistance where no one knows who's who, but you're trying to figure out who the spies are. And it's like that mental, psychological deduction game as you're doing these little missions it gives you, and you need the majority of your side to win the missions. So it's very much a thinking person's game. And I was told yesterday, actually, that I'm very entertaining when I get very competitive, because it's not something that comes out very often. But those games, I very much care about winning.
Well, you are a winner in our book. No doubt about it. Josh Allen, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you so much, Dave.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffat Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Your time's up.
Thanks again to those great guests, Nate Hults and Josh Allen. Thanks to all the great people at Sonny's Pizzeria, where we had our conversation with Nate, and to all the great folks at The Source, where we chatted with Josh. And of course, thank you for listening, downloading, sharing, following in the social media, and your overall support of this show. If you haven't so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, which automatically gets you entered for Pizza with a Podcaster for all 163 episodes now. Go online, DaveHollyHour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Art South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, I'm Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Posh Boutique, The Sky in Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffat's Entertainment, and Sonny's Pizzeria. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to DaveHollyHour.com and look for a coffee cup icon in the lower left. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the Dave Holly Hour on Facebook, and you'll be automatically entered in our Pizza with a Podcaster contest. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.